Welcome back and thanks for watching. So, looking at TikTok, Facebook, and other sites, I keep seeing that people in Georgia who applied for jobs on Indeed have been disappearing after going on their job interview. That's wow. Look at this video.
So did y'all hear about that little girl had ended up, I think she was 17 years old or 16 years old, and she decided she wanted to apply for a job? Everybody knows that we use Indeed to apply for a job. So when she applied for a job, she got the interview and she decided to go to the interview. When she went to the interview, she went by herself. The interview was at 7 p.m. That was the first red flag. Then, not only that, the interview was at a warehouse where everything was distant from each other. So when she took the Uber, it was dark and it was like buildings distance from each other. She had interview with the lady at the front desk, and then the lady had sent her to the back to interview with someone else. When she had went back there, she had ended up not coming back out. So she, to this day, nobody can't find her.
As you see, it's not only her talking about it, but many people. As a matter of fact, it went viral. However, I couldn't find any news articles about it until now. Check this out.
Videos racking up thousands of views on social media claim 17 women here in Atlanta have gone missing after they applied for a job online. Our Verified team has been looking into the videos like this one.
When I searched this up, it's so many posts talking about how people are going on these interviews that they're getting off of Indeed and they're not being seen after they go to those interviews. Can't nobody find them.
So are reports of women going missing after showing up for job interviews they applied for through Indeed really true? Let's verify. We checked with these sources to find out: the Georgia Bureau of Investigation and the FBI in Atlanta. Both said they had no reports of missing persons cases tied to Indeed. And when we reached out to the company, it sent us a statement saying in part, quote, "These claims are unverified, and to date, we have seen no evidence to support them. We have not received any official reports or been contacted by law enforcement or other authorities about these allegations." Indeed went on to say that it has a dedicated team that reviews job listings and removes those that don't meet its standards. The company also encourages users to report suspicious posts. So we can verify, no, there are no reports of women going missing in Atlanta after applying for a job on Indeed.
Now we have debunked that. However, this was really happening in 2011. A man by the name of Richard Beasley became Ohio's Craigslist Killer. This man started off as a street preacher, con man, and drug dealer. He used his daughter's boyfriend to sell drugs, and eventually that led to a 7-year prison sentence. Believe it or not, the courts granted him visitation with his daughter once a month while in prison, so she was forced to go up there every month, even when she didn't want to. He ended up using her to help him create this Craigslist account that would end up taking people's lives. Once out of jail, he convinced the courts that he was a man of God and a preacher who was going to save people who were addicts, prostitutes, and the homeless. The courts let him have his own rehabilitation home. Instead of trying to help the people, he pimped out the ladies and sold drugs to the addicts. Once the gig was up, Richard came up with another crazy plan, and that was to lure unsuspected victims via Craigslist with a job ad, where he would murder them shortly after arrival. He murdered one man for a pack of cigarettes and $5. Listen to this victim's family talk.
Richard Polly remembers challenges his brother faced before he died.
He was laid off. He was looking for work. Couldn't find anything there.
He had been living with his brother and sister-in-law Judy in Norfolk in 2011.
He discovered this job on Craigslist.
It was in Ohio, and it's where David Polly became part of an awful murder plot.
There was no cell phone reception or anything like that, so we expected that unless he went into town where he could call us, that we wouldn't hear from him.
Richard Beasley was recently convicted in Polly's murder and the murder of 2 other men in Ohio. Prosecutors say Beasley used Craigslist to trick and murder all 3.
We filled that truck up with everything David owned. Then we, said goodbye. We said goodbye in the driveway here. And that was the last we saw him.
The Polleys have followed the trial from Norfolk. They're hoping for closure and not afraid to talk about Beasley and a teenager also convicted in the murders last year.
I don't hold any grudge or bitterness or anger towards Richard Beasley or this young man.
He does want something for them.
But my hope for them, myself and my wife being Christians, that they would have an opportunity to hear and actually come to know Christ as Lord and Savior.
So the idea that people will try to lure you with a job and harm you is not far-fetched. Please always let someone know where you're going. Please be safe out there. Thanks for watching.